On Friday, November 15th, Netflix and Most Valuable Promotions bring you the highly anticipated heavyweight boxing mega event of the year. Jake El Gallo Paul will go toe-to-toe in the ring against Iron Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet. Don't miss this epic showdown from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Watch Paul versus Tyson, now streaming only on Netflix.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a one-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, and there's so much to share. With classics like Caramel Brulee Latte, Peppermint Mocha, and Chestnut Praline Latte, we're celebrating everyone's flavor of festivity. Order yours in the app.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well, at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. What's going on, Ram fans? Episode 580 of Rams Up. I have my Rams Up straight up game picks for week number 11. Thursday night game's probably already underway by the time you hear this, if not already over. I did select the Eagles in that game. And I also have my power rankings. Now, I did get the video version of the power rankings out earlier today, earlier Thursday, but I did not get the game picks on the YouTube channel, so I'm sharing them here. First things first, let's get through the latest injury report for this Rams-Patriots game. Two guys up front still out for the Patriots on Thursday. Defensive tackle Jacqueline Roy and defensive end Dietrich Wise. And for the Rams, Rob Havenstein, Joseph Noteboom, Neville Gallimore, and Charles Woods all did not practice. So I'm thinking Havenstein is out for sure. Possibly Noteboom, so we may be looking at a Warren McClendon start on Sunday morning. Bunch of Patriots also limited. On the Rams side, only limited player was linebacker Byron Young. And significantly, Hunter Henry a full go for the Patriots, as was Cam Curl for the Rams. So the biggest takeaways here, Patriots defensive line banged up, Rams right tackle situation up in the air. I have my Rams Up straight up game picks for week 11 here. Now, I did not have time, short week, to do the video version of this, although the power rankings are updated on the YouTube channel. The video there for you to enjoy if you so choose. I'm going to share the game picks here on the podcast only and an update of where I'm at right now. Last week, Pete and I had 3 picks we disagreed upon. Pete Prisco of CBS Sports. I picked the Cardinals and Lions to win correctly. Pete picked the Vikings to win correctly. So of the 3 games we were divided on, I got 2 right and he got 1 right. I went 8-6 on the week. It was a pretty tough week for a lot of people, I think. Pete went 7-7. So I currently have an 8-game lead, 95 correct, 57 wrong, to Pete's 87 correct, 65 wrong. So let's get to these picks. Washington at Philadelphia, Eagles favored by 4. Amazon lucked out on this game. It was probably thrown in as a scrub game Thursday night. Here's a game for you. And now it's looking like, well, it is the game of the year so far in the NFC East. Go a long way to deciding who wins that division. Eagles favored by 4, and I will roll with the Eagles, the home team. They are playing lights out right now. Commanders playing pretty well too. Still have some holes on that defense though. The Packers at the Bears. Bears 5-point underdogs. I hate to use the term dumpster fire. That gets overused so much, but the Bears are kind of heading that way. Lots of issues off the field and on the field. Caleb Williams supposedly regressing. Meanwhile, the Packers are coming off a bye, and they've got some issues too. A little more subtle, maybe not as obvious, but I still think they're going to win this game. They'll take care of the Bears in Chicago. The Jags at the Lions. Lions 14-point favorites. Has Trevor Lawrence become the forgotten man? As high hopes for him when he came out of Clemson has not happened. I mean, he's had his moments, but this year, it seems like the Jags are always just so close, this close to winning, can't get it done. This is a good opportunity for a Jared Goff bounce-back game. And by the way, the Lions did something pretty good last week, something that Sean McVay would have done. They traded for Zadarius Smith, remember? After Aiden Hutchinson got hurt, they actually gave him the week off. Dan Campbell is pointing out that Smith would be missing his bye week, so they sent him off to Florida to check on his home that had been damaged by a hurricane. So this game against the Jags will be his first in a Lion uniform. Kind of cool. Raiders at the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 7.5. I think they're going to be flying high after the win over the Rams. The gut reaction is this Dolphins offense is starting to cook, but not really. Rams actually did a pretty good job of holding them in check. It was the Rams offense that failed us. Hey, we've talked about that enough. I'll leave it at that. Taking the Dolphins in this one. The Browns at the Saints, and does this interim coach mojo carry on for another week for the Saints? Derek Carr versus Jameis Winston. How about that? I will take the Saints to win this one. Ravens at the Steelers. Steelers +3. So if my premise is correct, that the Steelers are the worst 7-2 team in the history of football, then the Ravens will win. And that's what I'm going to roll with on this one. Vikings at the Titans. Vikings 6-point favorites. This could be a get-well game for the Vikings, but don't underestimate this Titans team, especially their defense. Problem has really been quarterback play. Second straight long road trip to play an AFC team for the Vikings. I picked against them last week. Not going to do that this week. I'll take the Vikings. Falcons at the Broncos. Broncos 2.5-point favorites. Two teams fighting for playoff spots, but the Falcons are actually in a pretty good place atop their division. Tampa Bay Buccaneers would seem to be their biggest threat, but they're really banged up. Falcons couldn't get past the Saints last week. Could have really shut the door on the Saints, and the Saints probably are done regardless, but that would have been the nail in the coffin for the Saints, but they get to win. So if the Falcons can't beat the Saints at sea level, are they going to be able to take care of a good Broncos team, a good Broncos defense, a mile high? No, I'm taking the Broncos. Seahawks at the 49ers. 49ers 6.5-point favorites, and this is just another game where the 49ers have to play a team coming off a bye. They did it to the Rams and 49ers last year. They did it to the 49ers this year. I think it's 4 times they play teams coming off a bye. Incredible. Seahawks have had 2 weeks to stew over that overtime loss to the Rams, and they're getting the 49ers at a bad time. They're starting to get healthy, the 49ers are. Seahawks hold a 30-23 edge in this series, which explains why 49ers fans might despise the Seahawks more than the Rams, but the Niners have won 6 straight, including a 36-24 win in Seattle about 6 weeks ago, and the 49ers are going to complete the sweep, knock off the Seahawks. Chiefs at the Bills. My number 3 team visits my number 2 team. Oh man, you're going to hear that in the power rankings, but there you have it a little bit early. The Bills are just a better team right now, flat out, and they're at home. It's going to be one of these 2 teams or the Ravens coming out of the AFC to play in the Super Bowl, although I'm still holding out a little bit of hope for C.J. Stroud and the Texans, but I'm starting to think it's going to be the Bills, Ravens, or Chiefs in the next Super Bowl. I am taking the Bills in this game, though. Bengals at the Chargers. Chargers 1.5-point favorites. We'll see if the Chargers' old-school approach works against a dynamic offense like the Bengals. If the Bengals are going to make a playoff run, which I think they will, not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to make a run, they're going to be relevant the last 2 weeks of the season, this would be a critical win in that pursuit. This is a game that has wild card tiebreaker implications, and I am taking the Bengals to pull the minor upset, the minor road upset. Colts at the Jets. Jets favored by 4. Are the Colts going back to Anthony Richardson? They roll him with Joe Flacco? I'm not even sure. I'm not sure it's going to make that much difference. This is a downtrodden Jets team. Aaron Rodgers perhaps was not the answer after all, but I think the Jets win this game, and this is a game that really hard to figure out. I think the Colts could make a playoff push, but they'd need to win this game, and I don't think it's going to happen. The Texans at the Cowboys. Bad time for the Battle of Texas if you're a Cowboy fan. Cowboys are 7.5-point underdogs. They are wrecked by injuries, not playing good football at all. Texans have their own issues. C.J. Stroud, we were all sold on him as the next great quarterback. He's regressed a little bit. The 19th best QBR in the league right now. I think the Texans will win this game. I don't think they're going to march through Dallas with a 15-point win, but they will win this game. Cowboys are just too hurting, too many issues on the offensive side of the ball especially. And when I talk Ram games, I always talk about memorable games, and there's a memorable Cowboy-Texans game that I'll never forget. September 8th, 2002, the Texans' very first game in the NFL, David Carr versus Quincy Carter, and the Cowboys were the survivor pick for probably 90% of the players out there. And what happened? The Texans won 19-10, and survivor players all over the country felt the pain. No one expected that. Texans win their first game ever against the Dallas Cowboys. And the last game on my docket is actually a Sunday morning game, but we save the most interesting for last, at least for Ram fans. The Rams travel to New England to play the Patriots. Rams are 4.5-point favorites. The word on the street is that the Sharps are favoring the Patriots once again. Not sure if that's true. It's pretty early to make that determination. And it could be a low-scoring, hard-fought game. Rams don't score a lot in New England. Last 3 trips there, I think they've scored 10, 16, and 17 points. And this could be a low-scoring game as much as the Rams' offense has struggled. But I think it's going to go the other way. As I shared on the roundtable, I was predicting a Rams win 27-13, and I'm sticking with that. Not going to be easy. Probably going to be decided in the late third quarter is my guess. Rams pull away for the win. Back in a second with our power rankings.
Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a 1-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, what's going on, Ram fans? I have my Week 11 power rankings, racking and stacking the top teams in the NFL heading into Week 11. We always kick this off with a review of the teams who I have declared their seasons are over, kiss a goodbye, see you next year, and we have 2 new additions to that list. Who was already on that list? Well, we had the Cleveland Browns, the New Orleans Saints, the Las Vegas Raiders, the New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers, New York Giants, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tennessee Titans. And 2 new additions. They were on the brink last week, and they took the full plunge. They are done for this year. Kind of going out on a limb a little bit with these 2 teams, but, well, not with the Cowboys. Cowboys are done. I feel very comfortable with that. With Dak out, that team, man, there's some changes coming, I think, hopefully at the top. And the other team, the New York Jets, man, I was really hopeful that they could turn the corner with Aaron Rodgers back, but it's gone south. Now, this is a team that I think there's a little bit of hope, but I decided to take the plunge on the Jets as well. They are done. See you next year. And let's talk about my green room. Who are the teams just outside my top 12? Well, I have one team that left the green room for a good reason. They moved on up. We'll get to them in a second. And I had two teams that moved out of the green room, the Bears and the Rams. And the Bears, maybe I should have done it last week. Maybe I did do it last week. I don't think I did. But the Bears are out of the green room, nowhere close to moving back into the top 12. They need to win a few games. And this is another team in total disarray. Locker room issues, coaching issues. They fire their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, former Rams and Seahawks coach. So they're going backwards. And the Rams, I'd love to keep them in the green room, but I'm trying to reserve some credibility here, preserve some credibility. And to do that, I am moving the Rams out of the green room. Now, if they hammer the Patriots by 20, maybe they'll re-enter, but they have a tough road ahead. After the Patriots, they get the Eagles on Sunday night. And I'm starting to think the Rams are going to have to steal a win against either the Eagles or the Bills. That would give them a big boost. But we need to see it, as we've talked about on the roundtable. Show us Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams offense. Show us something. Show us you deserve it. One full game from start to finish of offensive efficiency and productivity, red zone efficiency. And when we see that, we'll start talking green room and top 12 potentially once again. So let's take a closer look at this green room. I already said the Rams and Bears are dropping out. One team moving up and in. One team moving down and in. So who are the teams that remain in the green room? Well, we had the Atlanta Falcons, the Denver Broncos, and the Cincinnati Bengals. And we had one team dropping out of the top 12, the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, they are on their bye week, and they're dropping out essentially to make room for another team. And we had one team moving out of no man's land into the green room, and that would be the Miami Dolphins, 3-6. But this is a pretty good football team, pretty dangerous team. And they're going to, do they have playoff hopes? Probably not at this point, but I think they're worthy of the green room. And we have obviously one team moving up and out of the green room into the top 12. We'll get to that in a second. So let's work our way up from number 12 to number 1. My number 12 team, the Washington Commanders, dropped another 3 spots. And I really thought they'd take care of the Steelers. Couldn't get it done. Very close game, though. But at home, losing to a Steeler team that I don't think is really ready for prime time. But their record, it's just amazing how they just continue to find ways to win games. But the Commanders dropped from 9 to 12. And also dropping 1 spot, the Chargers, nice and easy home win over the Titans. And this drop is really due to just making room for other teams that maybe outplayed them a little bit, in my opinion. Really have a lot of respect for what Harbaugh and the Chargers are getting done, though. Kind of doing it old school ways. But hey, sometimes maybe that's something the Rams should look at doing. Rams are probably more entertaining than the Chargers, but Chargers are winning more, and the Steelers definitely winning more. They move up 1 spot with that record, but I'm still not sold. Got to hand it to Russell Wilson. He's kind of might be in the process of proving me wrong, but he did have 2 or 3 year period where I thought he was, his play was falling off. He's bounced back, so give him credit. My number 9 team, the biggest riser of the week, out of the green room all the way to number 9, the Arizona Cardinals. They have beat the Chargers and Dolphins, and then they hammered the Bears and the Jets. And this team, they're kind of scary right now. Now, we're used to seeing the Cardinals have a major blip in their rise to playoff contention, and maybe that is yet to come. But kind of, if you're a Cardinal fan, you got to like what you're seeing right now. Very complete team. And my number 8 team dropping 2 spots, the Houston Texans. They've lost 2 straight now. And yeah, they were my Super Bowl pick. Not feeling as good about that right now as I was 2 or 3 weeks ago, but they'll bounce back. And rising 1 spot, the Minnesota Vikings, kind of getting back on track. 4 field goals for the win, though, so that was a little surprising on the road. You go on the road to play an AFC team. That's a little bit of a travel bit from Minnesota to Florida. So cut them a little slack, but they do actually rise 1 spot based on the 2 straight wins. Another team that climbed 1 spot, the San Francisco 49ers. They get McCaffrey back and was more productive receiving than he was running. Jake Moody almost flushed that game away, but he made the game winner against Tampa Bay, another a West Coast team that had to fly across the country. So you can expect a little bit of uneven performance and uneven behavior on the sidelines as well, right, Depot? So some strange stuff going on with the 49ers. Ricky Pearsall did have a long touchdown, so 49ers fans have to be happy about that, at least making his presence known with Brandon Ayuk out for the year. So that's a good thing for them. The Ravens holding steady at number 5. They had that Thursday night win, very fortunate Thursday night win. They got some benefits of a call there late, and maybe Joe Burrow should have got some calls as well, but Ravens got the win. And another team that no movement here again for the Philadelphia Eagles. They clobbered the Cowboys. They remain my number 4 team. I don't know what to make of a win over the Cowboys, but hey, you go on the road, beat a divisional opponent. Really, no doubt about that game from start to finish. Eagles in total control. And dropping 1 spot, yes, dropping 1 spot, hard to believe, the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs dropped a spot in my power rankings to number 3 from number 2. It took them a blocked field goal to beat the Broncos at home. So let that settle in for a second. Do they look like the number 1 team in the NFL right now? I say no, but I still think, they get to the playoffs, obviously be the team to beat. But I just don't think this is their year from what I have seen and what I have read. Prove me wrong, Kansas City. And moving up 1 spot, flipping spots with the Chiefs is my new number 2 team, the Buffalo Bills. Solid road win against a worthy opponent. So Josh Allen playing lights out. It's going to be a real challenge for the Rams when they hook up with the Bills. So Bills are my number 2 team, my number 1 team in the AFC, because my number 1 team overall is the NFC North leading Detroit Lions, 8-1. Jared Goff, that performance had a lot of us reminiscing about his time with the Rams, but I think he's getting unfairly assessed for this performance, given that one of his 5 interceptions, one of them a late Hail Mary at the end of the first half. There was a game when he was with the Rams where he had 2 Hail Marys intercepted late in the fourth quarter. They tried one on 4th down, got the ball back, tried again. Both resulted in interceptions. And I would make the argument, one of my sports pet peeves here, you shouldn't get dinged for an interception on a Hail Mary at the end of a game. It just skews the stats. That is in your quarterback rank ratings. Is that assessed the same? Is that weighted the same as a first quarter interception you throw at your own 12-yard line? Right? If you make a bad read, bad pass, throw a pick 6 even, that compared to a Hail Mary at the end of the first half, come on, really a meaningless interception. I'll stand by that. And he also had a tip pass. Offensive lineman tips the pass, ball pops way in the air, and the Texans grab it. And there was another one where he got hit as he was throwing the ball, if I remember correctly. Not a good game by Jared Goff, obviously, probably his worst game this year. But let's not, slam them too hard. And then they come back and win that game. And it was pretty impressive to come back and beat the Texans on the road. So gotta give kudos to the entire Detroit Lions team for finding a way to beat the Texans in a game that they just had mistake after mistake after mistake, digging themselves a hole. And then they come back and win. So they are my number one team. And I feel very comfortable telling you that the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills belong above the Chiefs in the power rankings right now. I'll defend that. Someone want to have it. If you have an issue with that, share it in the comments, and we'll talk Lions, Bills, Chiefs, the proper pecking order for clearly the three best teams in the NFL right now. We all can disagree on the order, but that's how I'm rolling. Lions, Bills, Chiefs, 1, 2, 3, and my Week 11 power rankings. Thanks a lot. Out here. That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.